Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Throttle Talk. Today, we're gonna take you through the Sao Paulo GP and tell you what we think is gonna happen. And yeah,
So I think one big thing heading into this race weekend is the weather. It's expected to rain on all 3 days. So considering it's a sprint weekend as well, it's seeming to be quite an interesting challenge. I feel certain teams who haven't been doing well throughout the season will take advantage of the rain definitely because it gives a lot of like unpredictable variables, let's just say, and different drivers adapt to it differently. As I
Hmm.
think Senna said, the in the rain the cars come closer while the drivers don't. So I think it's going to be an interesting one.
And I think rain will be especially helpful to the experienced drivers like Hamilton, Alonso, if their cars perform to their liking to some extent. So, yeah, interesting that way.
I don't think Lando would do well in the rain as well. We've seen this in the past.
Oh, no.
I don't think.
Very off and on
Very,
in the rain, I feel. Because if you remember, there was that session where he crashed Spa 21. Uh,
mhm.
the
Bro,
Russell
screw
qualified.
that. Sochi 21, Sochi.
That is
That too.
that is a call in the rain, and that is a solid
Yeah.
what 4 years ago or 3 years ago. So he's gotten like 70 days of experience since that. I think he should be able to definitely make better decisions than that. So
And to be
Hmm.
fair, in Spa also was like the condition was like really bad. It was not light
yeah,
rain,
yeah,
and
that's
all
not
the
his fault. And if you saw the rest of that session, if you ignore Q3, the rest of the session he was quite on top of it. I think he was the fastest, definitely by quite a bit. I think even
yes.
Russell said while he was in the car, he was watching Norris's onboards and learning from it.
Hmm.
So Norris is a very hit or miss in the rain. You can't just give him a prediction like that.
Yeah, fair. But this rain also brings about like unexpected shit that can happen. Like your your lower your lower teams coming back up somehow. Maybe the rain comes in between of quali and then screws up the drivers who haven't had a lap yet,
Yeah,
like what we saw with K Mag last year.
that was
Yeah,
an insane poll. I think
surprising poll.
I don't think anyone could have ever predicted that. I think someone on some betting site had predicted it last year, and he won like I think like some 10,000 euros or something just from that one prediction.
That's crazy.
It's like betting on
Yeah,
Joe winning.
No,
yeah, yeah.
betting on F1.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I think another cool thing this weekend is it's not cool. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate talking about Magnussen. He's not going to be driving Friday, I think, because he's
Hmm.
unwell. I feel if he's unwell on Friday and he's missed out Friday, it's most likely going to be Bearman who's driving rest of the weekend as well. And I feel considering his track record, especially with Haas, he should be a better choice. But obviously, the past few races, K-Mag has been on fire as we spoke on the last podcast. What do you guys feel?
I think it's also good for Behrman, right? Like he's filling in for Haas next year. Good practice for him, and it only helps in boosting his confidence. And yeah, and he only learns from everything. So it's a win-win. So
I mean, don't count out K Mag for the whole weekend. Yeah, obviously Friday he's not going to be there, but Saturday, Sunday he still might.
Yeah, I mean it's a strong track for him, but still, I feel if he has missed out on practice, it from Haas's point of view, it doesn't make sense. If K-Mag feels he's up to it, and then I know as a driver, he's not going to say even if he feels physically okay, he's just gonna skip the weekend. It doesn't make any sense because he doesn't have a seat. He has to prove himself now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
correct.
if he feels
But
okay, he will most likely drive. But from Haas's point of view, I feel it makes more sense to keep Behrman in the seat for this weekend.
and to be fair, I think it's well looking unlikely that Magnussen will be racing next year. With only one, I mean, to be fair, two seats now, but the V-carb seat is, I mean, the options are pretty clear. So it's probably unlikely to see Magnussen next year, but I guess he still has to show what he's got for future
Yeah,
contracts.
I mean, Red. If you've been hearing the rumors in the Red Bull family, it's a bit crazy because
Hmm.
I think recently there was a rumor about Colapinto getting an offer from VCarb, and if
Correct.
Colapinto is getting an offer from VCarb, that means Lawson or Sonoda is going somewhere. So
Yes.
there is another variable who gets into the Red Bull seat then and who remains at Alpha Tauri or
Mm-hmm.
Carb. In my opinion, I feel they're trying to push Lawson. They're trying to rush him into the Red Bull. So I think it'll probably be Lawson who gets into the Red Bull if this rumor is correct. But I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
it differs from person to person. Who do you guys feel will
Even
be?
I, even I feel it's probably Lawson if Perez is leaving. I don't even think he's going to be there past Sao
Brazil.
Paulo, like Brazil. There's a small chance that he might be replaced after that as well.
Yeah, Horner, I
But
think, in an interview, right?
yeah, correct. He did say that in the on Thursday, I think. So I mean, he could get replaced, and it's probably going to be Lawson because I guess Red Bull don't want a driver who's so aggressive in the sense they want someone who's aggressive, but not at the way Yuki is aggressive.
Hmm.
They want someone who's a little bit more light in that way. So I think Lawson is a better option. But also considering Lawson having that little fight with Perez in Mexico,
Hmm.
makes it interesting. Yeah, so I think, but also if they do put Lawson, I have a feeling it might be too soon because I think Red Bull have made that mistake before with drivers. The only one that's paid off is really Verstappen, really doing extremely well in Red Bull.
What about
So
Seb?
I mean, what about Seb too? I mean, multiple years back, but
Yeah.
yeah, more recently Verstappen.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that the team would want two Maxes. I don't think they would go for Tsunoda. Like two Maxes, I mean like two crazy aggressive drivers. So yeah, probably Lawson's their best bet.
Yeah, Lawson also, I feel he has more marketability because this Sonoda is a bit, I think he's just a bit off. Sometimes he says some unhinged stuff. And I feel it could be a risk on the reputation of Red Bull, definitely, if they put Sonoda. Because if you have heard some of the stuff he says on the radio, and recently, if you remember, he got like a fine, quite a big fine. I don't remember the exact value, but he got quite a big fine for saying a pretty bad word on the radio, I think, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
But you can't say that about Red Bull when they literally have Max.
Yeah, fair enough. And I feel this weekend will be a strong one for a few teams. I feel, considering seeing last year's performance, I think Haas will be decent. Uh, I feel even Merck, they dominated, I think, last year, and that was with subpar cars because I think both Lewis had some damage and who was it? I think it was Russell who had like some overheating issues. So I think it could be a good one for you guys, you and Anurag.
You think Haas would do well without K-Mag? That's crazy.
No, I mean,
so
last year been good, but
Oliver has potential, right? He has shown on multiple occasions.
Yeah, but again, if it's gonna rain, you'll need experience in the end.
Well, you do, but no one's saying Ollie can't perform, right? You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
you remember Baku, he was, I think, better than Hulkenberg in certain situations.
yeah.
I mean, in the end, he did do better than Hulkenberg in the race, but obviously that's because of the safety car and other issues.
Yeah, I think
So,
Hulkenberg got unlucky.
yeah, it is
Mhm.
unlucky.
So I feel Haas will be a definitely strong one to watch out for this weekend. And let's not forget the pole last year that you can blame the conditions how much ever you want, but still the car had to be there, the driver had to drive it, and it was there. Everything worked out for them. And obviously it was a great moment for them, first pole. And I think they all celebrated it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a win. I mean, it is a win in their book, so
I think more than a win, probably.
yeah.
This race is also considered Lewis's second home.
Yeah,
He has very good memories with this. His first World Championship uh,
I
was
don't.
won in that crazy last race.
Yeah, and his immense respect for Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
So,
think Brazilians love him, and he loves the Brazilians back. So
and
yeah, but we'll see if the track loves him on Sunday at least. Um, we'll
speak.
see how it goes. Maybe I mean, he has good memories with the track, and maybe he will do well.
Yeah, speaking of Lewis, I think where he's going next year, Ferrari. they have been on some crazy form for the past few weeks. So I feel they have a really good shot at definitely fighting at the top. I feel it'll be definitely Merc and Ferrari. McLaren, you can never count them out. And I feel it just doesn't look very strong for Red Bull. Even last year, they weren't particularly good.
Hmm.
And
And
yeah, please continue.
one more person who has been underperforming is Piastri.
Yeah, recently he's not been up to the standard expected from him. I feel
Yeah.
obviously the pressure is obviously getting to him now because
This is the last.
hyping him. Everyone's been hyping him quite a bit, and other than that, also he's obviously going to go into his third season next year. The rookie card and the inexperienced card is not going to work for him anymore. He has to eventually take up the role of joint team leader with Lando. So I think that's also going to be interesting to see how he performs this weekend.
Yeah, because if their current performance after the short break continues, the constructors' lead is also under threat because Ferrari is not that far off, and the fight is on for both championships that way. Also, in Mexico, Lando did have decent pace. It's just that he probably could have gone on to win the race. We never know what would have happened. I think we would have covered this also in the Mexico recap, but it's because of the fight between Verstappen and Lando. I think it was well played by Verstappen that way. Not decent racing, but he tried to push Lando off so that he ruins his pace for the win as well. So yeah, so I mean McLaren do still have the pace, but are they still the fastest car right now? Well, not really sure about that because Ferrari is doing quite well. Yeah.
Okay. And moving on from what we expect this weekend, let's go on to what we predict for this weekend.
Yeah.
I think let's move on to our predictions and let's start with our winners and losers. So obviously we
Yeah.
are joined with Anurag, but we will discuss his podcast his predictions at the end of the podcast. Um, and let's move on to who we expect our winners and losers to be this weekend. Ved, how about we start?
Okay. Yeah, fine, I'll start. I think a winner is gonna be I'll say Leclerc. I think Leclerc's gonna have a good race. He's been doing well even in Mexico he did pretty well except that last screw up that happened. Yeah, I think he'll do pretty well in the wet also, if it comes down to that. Loser, I'd say loser will be hmm, I'd say Lando.
Oh,
Okay.
hasn't
I think
worked
he's
for
gonna choke.
Question.
I think Lando choke. Um, I think in either one of the race or the sprint, he'll do well in one of those. I don't think he'll do well in both.
So I assume when you predict Leclerc as a winner and Lando as a loser, uh, you want Leclerc to gain points on Lando and Lando to lose points to both Max and Leclerc, right?
Yeah,
Under those circumstances, you get the points.
yeah.
Agastya, what about since you've been sitting
Yeah.
and writing them
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
going through
So
the details?
okay, so I think the winners will be Haas.
Okay.
I think you also stated. I think I agree with you on that note that Haas will have decent pace. The only issue comes is if Ollie Bevan is there for the sprint qualifying, so on. That time, well, maybe he'll perform really well, maybe he won't. And if Magnussen comes in, maybe he won't because of the lack of practice and he's not feeling well. So that's the only issue. But I think outside of that, they'll perform pretty well.
Hmm.
Losers, I'd say, was probably Red Bull. Um, I think it's. I want to say Perez, but to be fair, he's not been doing really well. I can't
Yeah,
really
that's basically
define
like saying Sauber.
the point on his occasions. That's why I'm not saying Perez, but I think Red Bull as a whole. Max will lose quite a. I mean, kind of opposite of what Wade's saying. So Max will lose a lot of points to Lando, and I think Red Bull will lose to
Both.
McLaren, Ferrari. Okay. Yeah.
Look, the thing for this is, I feel for Haas especially, they have to gain points on V carb definitely. Obviously, I feel they have gained enough at this point where it's not really feasible for V carb to gain more to gain the position in the championship. But still, I feel that's their closest championship rival. They have to try and gain points on them. And I feel if one or two of if one Haas scores points, I think that should be more than enough. Considering we don't know what's the situation with Ollie and Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, I think let's move on to mine. This weekend, I feel Russell will be a winner. Uh, Obviously, he's not really in the fight with anyone other than his teammate in the championship. But I feel last year Russell was really strong at this track. Obviously, I know, as Wade said, this is Lewis's second home, and he's expecting him to do really well and all. But I feel Russell will have just that slight edge on him, and I feel even if he doesn't have a decent result compared to Lewis, like let's say Lewis wins and Russell finishes second, still overall it will be a win for Russell in my opinion.
No, but isn't it a win for Russell? Okay, no, actually, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So even if Russell finishes, I feel top three and Lewis beats him by only one place, I think it should be considered as a win for Russell.
Yeah, if he comes top four, it's a win. Yeah.
Okay. And losers, I
By the
feel.
way, I want to change my winner now. I want to go
So,
for Hamilton instead of Leclerc
Oh, so you
because
want
I
to go against me.
no. I realized it when you said it. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about Hamilton only. So yeah, I'll go for him. I'll back him.
We'll give it to you. Half a
Yeah,
point.
sorry, tell me what to do.
Only half a point. For changing.
No.
Okay, fine. And I feel for the losers this weekend, I'll predict V card. Uh, I know Lawson has had like really good form for the past few weekends, and obviously last weekend was a bit unlucky for him. But I
Hmm.
feel the car may not have the pace that the Haas does, and if this weekend they don't gain any points on Haas, it should be considered as a loss for them because after this, there's only going to be what 3 rounds left or 4 rounds left, if I'm not wrong. At that point, it's a bit too far for V Cup to gain whatever 10, 20 point advantage that Haas has on them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think now Haas can really fight for fifth in the championship because Aston Martin is not that really far off. And we'll play a couple of good weekends for the team. There's a
How
good
far?
chance. I think about, I think a little bit more than 10. I think 14. I'm not really sure on the number. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to check on that. I think they're quite close. And let's be real, like we have only one driver scoring for Aston Martin. So the
Look,
fight's on.
I feel it's not that bad. Stroll, I wouldn't say he's been like close to the worst. He's maybe been bottom five drivers this year.
Yeah, but
That is
to
close
be
to the
fair,
worst kind of.
that is slow. I mean,
I mean,
to
but
be
look, the grid is so close now. I mean, in
fair,
like the quality of the grid is so good that you can't really say fifth worst. Obviously, someone has to be fifth worst, and they may not even be a bad driver. Like this year, would you say Ocon has been in the bottom five drivers? Have you heard any positive thing about Ocon this whole year?
no.
But everyone knows he's a decent driver. He's won in the past. He's had podiums. So look, I'd say this year he's been in the bottom five drivers for me. But still, he's not a bad driver. So you can't just judge him from one season.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's good or bad. I mean, I'm sure he has much better pace. But if he was in any other team, I think there
Yeah,
would have been replaced.
without a doubt.
Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. And considering this is a sprint weekend, I think let's move on to our sprint quali predictions.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel this
okay.
will be a bit tough to predict because you have to predict the rain as well as the qualifying. So if there's no rain, the way you predict it is going to be different. And if there is rain, you can just predict anybody and you may be right. So I think
Yeah.
let's start with Agastya since he's been writing it down.
Okay, so sprint qualifying, right?
Come on. Do it.
I
Turn it down, man. You just have to read.
Yeah.
like a build a story out of it. So I feel that so Ferrari did dominate right in the last couple of races, both the drivers winning races. I don't think they'll have the pace compared to
McLaren.
the races. I think they won't be there. They'll still be fast, but I don't think they'll be that great. I think Norris will be back. Say whatever you want, but I think he will be back. I think he'll do a good job. I think even last year he had a pretty decent race in Brazil. So I think he'll take pole for sprint quali. As I think you also suggested that Russell, and I feel Russell will be quite quick. He'll get P2 and P3. I was debating whether Verstappen or Piastri because I still feel Piastri might be there, but I think I'll go with Verstappen.
Okay.
No Ferrari.
No, I don't think Ferrari. They'll be right top five, but I don't think they'll have that kind of pace.
Okay. I feel for me, I'd say, uh, obviously, since I put Russell as winner, I think I have to back him a bit. I think I'll put Russell as pole for sprint quali. Uh, for second, this is a bit interesting. I'd say Leclerc, and
Okay.
third, I think I'm going to be honest, it has to be Lando, even though I don't want to predict him there.
Okay.
And Wade, what about you?
Okay, I think P1 will be. I think P1
Lewis.
goes to Max
Oh,
or Leclerc. Max or Leclerc. I'd give it to Leclerc. Okay, Leclerc, Max, and Lando.
I just want to point
That's my top.
out he changed his prediction 2 times in one podcast.
No, but this was like a thought process thing. Okay, I've not written it down like
I
August. Yeah,
Hey, yo, planning ahead, man. Go on.
now you can tell who's preparing for this championship and who's not.
yeah.
Anurag isn't even here.
I think
Real
it's
try hard.
enough.
Okay, and moving on from the sprint qualifying, I think it's time to talk about the sprint race. Obviously, that will be a whole different day, so the weather conditions again might change. So I feel,
Yeah.
I think let's start with me. I feel this weekend, I mean this year, whatever pace Merck has had, it's been a little worse in qualifying and a little better in the race. So I feel if Russell qualifies on pole for the sprint qualifying, he will definitely win the race. And
You say that every single time. I've noticed this. You
what?
say that every single time. If this person qualifies on pole, they're probably gonna win. Blah
Yep.
blah blah.
Am I not doing well in my predictions with?
Yeah, fair.
And then I feel it'll be Verstappen second. I feel he's gonna race quite tough, and I feel this is a good track for racing. It's a short track, and the run through the down the main straight, and then the straight after that is going to promote a lot of overtaking, and you never know with Verstappen. So I think if there are no penalties, hopefully Verstappen should finish second, and
Hmm.
Lando will finish third.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel there's going to be something is going to happen between those two once again this weekend. I mean I can't predict which session, but something or the other is going to happen. I feel.
Between
Ye-
okay. But I went with something similar, I guess. I went with, as you said, I think whoever takes pole will probably win the race. I mean, it's a sprint quali. Sprint is a very short race per se. There won't be that many changes, I feel. So I feel Norris will win the sprint. Russell will get P2. And I don't think Verstappen will have the pace to stay on the podium. Red Bull has been struggling quite a bit. I think one of the Ferraris, and if I put my money, I think it'll be on Leclerc. So I think P3 will be Leclerc.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. It's possible. I'd say my top three goes to. I think Max has a good shot of winning it. I think he's just gonna bully. Who I said he's gonna start second, right? So I think he's just gonna bully Leclerc off the track and get away with it through turn one, and then from there on just keep it. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And yeah, that's my P1. P2, I'd give it to Leclerc, and P3, I'll say Lewis.
Lewis. Mm,
Yeah.
I think I'm biased here.
I
Since
said he's a
Russell
winner right after back
won
and
the
kind of.
last, since he won the last race, I would have said Russell with.
We'll see.
Okay, let's move on to qualifying. Uh, yeah, I mean, teams are going to have more time to work on the setup as well since sprint qualifying, so I don't expect it to be very similar. So I'm going to change up my predictions a bit from sprint qualifying. I'm going to say uh, Lando pole, probably Verstappen P2 and Piastri P3. Actually,
Okay.
I think I'll put Leclerc P3.
Oh, no way, man.
Look,
No way.
but I can do it.
Okay. I don't know if I just kind of wrote the exact same predictions.
Wait, no way.
Yeah, for my top three.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'll stick with the same, except I just to make it interesting, I'll change up one. I think it'll be Norris pole, Verstappen P2. I want to say Leclerc P3, but since you said it, I'll say Science P3,
Look,
just to make
he's such a good sport.
it interesting.
Watching a championship battle.
Yeah.
Unlike Anurag.
He's catching shots even though he's not here. Maybe.
It's fine. We say it to space as well.
How is he?
Okay, for me, my top three and quali would be first, I'd give it to uh, Leclerc.
Okay.
Second, I'd give it to Science. I think Science will do well in quali because he'll get his shit together from the sprint and the sprint quali. And third, I'd give it to Max or Lando. I'd
When
say Max.
a Max fan, I want to know.
Leclerc, Science, Max. Yeah, because I did say my loser is Lando, so I'm gonna.
So you
Fair
have to
enough.
take Lando as a loser at some point, yeah.
Yeah, I think Lando out in Q2.
Oh wow.
Whoa,
Shots
whoa,
fired. Shots fired. Wait, we don't
yeah,
joke
Yeah,
that here.
that's bold.
Unless as part of Lando Depression Club.
Yeah.
Lando
Well,
out in Q2.
we don't know that championship's not done till it's done. Let's see. He
Oh wow.
might end up three in a two-way battle, so we never know. Let's
I
see.
Drivers' Championship, Lando needs to gain more than 10 points a weekend. I mean,
I mean,
he's done
it's
it.
possible. You
Yeah.
never know.
Look, I'll tell
But
you how many times Lando has gained more than 10 points in a weekend on Verstappen.
hmm,
Once. And that's Australia when Verstappen DNF.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
unless he bribes someone to like make him
Yeah.
DNF or some shit, it's not gonna happen.
Piastri's there for that, no. Crash it.
I don't see Piastri doing any of that. I think
He's
it's.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
doing.
But to be fair, in Austin, they did tell Piastri to go down so that Lando doesn't like gets well he does so that he doesn't get past Lando with the penalty. So to be
Yeah,
fair,
but now to be fair, they also have a constructors championship to defend because Ferrari is catching up.
I don't think they're going to mess up with Piastri really now. I think Piastri is just going to drive his own race.
Yeah.
Uh, I think also one thing for Piastri is he's also not totally out of this thing, the championship contention for third. Look, if Leclerc has one bad weekend, Piastri is also there. And it was not, it was only, I think, 2 races ago when everybody was praising Piastri for being like the GOAT under pressure, like in Baku.
You were one of those people.
Yeah, obviously he drove so well. He drove like
Uh,
that, anyone's gonna compliment him.
and you gaslighted me into saying McLaren last weekend as
How
a
did I
loser
gaslight
instead
you?
of Piastri.
I didn't put McLaren.
Augustia as a witness. Augustia, he gaslighted me.
But
I didn't put McLaren. How would you have?
No. I said Piastri would be a loser, and then you were like, no. Put
Oh,
McLaren,
yeah.
put McLaren.
We have to discuss that as well. I think
okay.
he's arguing for a point there, but I believe he should not get anything.
No, I don't think he deserves the point. It's okay. I
So
told him
Huh?
that
the way they have lost a point, you have lost that provisional point.
Okay, that's crazy. No. He's saying it for a different reason. Agastya is saying because he thinks I want to put Piastri. No, no, no. I said McLaren is a loser from uh, what's called Mexico. Is that a point or not?
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying no point for that.
No, I don't think there are losers.
Hater,
But
biased.
my reasoning was, look, every weekend, like if you remember Max versus Lewis that year, Red Bull and Mercedes were exchanging like 10 points every weekend. Like one was
Yeah,
gaining 10 points at Baku, other one was gaining 10 at Saudi, like that.
correct.
Obviously, it's going to happen in a championship fight. You can't just put McLaren as a loser on a track they're weak and they lose 10 points to Ferrari and you say they're the loser.
And just because you have like so many teams that are so strong and some dirty racing by Verstappen, I mean, you can't really
Yeah,
judge a team that
I
way.
feel
And
he should not be given a.
unlucky quali as well. But yeah,
So you're
things
saying if
happen.
Verstappen wasn't given any penalty, McLaren is a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Maybe,
fair actually. Yeah.
maybe yeah.
So I think Wade has lost a point now. So
Oh,
now standings is, I think Agastya at 12, me at 11, and Wade at 9.
8-8.
8. You
oh,
were the 9 before?
Yeah.
How much is Anurag at? 6.5.
6.5.
My God. You're cooked, Wade.
Oh
yeah.
shit, last week was not
So
good.
actually, Anurag should be at 7. I think let's round it up.
Oh, that's a
No, no.
bullshit. No, 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 round it down.
Calm down, man. He's got that half point for Stake being a failure.
Yeah, it's a unanimous decision. We are rounding it
The
down.
championship
He's
fight
at 6
got
now.
also interesting.
Uh,
He's at
okay,
6 now. You
we have to
watch
start
this weekend is gonna be. Hmm?
race predictions.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get on.
Yeah. Okay. Should I start?
Yeah, start, sir.
Yeah.
I don't copy this time. So I hope I've said this multiple times. It's not the first time I'm saying this. I hope Lando wins the race. I'm gonna back him up. Yeah, I think he will because I don't think any other team has the pace this time as much. I mean, they're quite close, but I don't think anyone has that much pace. Then I think in P2, as much as I want to back a Mercedes, I don't think they'll be there. I think Charles will be in P2. They're much faster. And then we have Piastri in P3. Again, don't think Merc or Red Bull have the
Actually
pace.
reading.
Yeah.
This guy.
You're actually reading.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm prepared. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think, look, if he beats us, we have an excuse.
Yeah, he thought about it, calculated and shit.
I
Okay.
thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think let's move on to mine. For me, I'm gonna keep it a bit short. I feel it'll be Lando. I think Lando will win this weekend. I think he will gain points on Verstappen, but it won't be by enough to make a difference in the championship. I feel Lando will win. Verstappen will finish second, I feel. And for third, I think I'm gonna put Russell. I feel Russell will scrap a podium somehow.
Okay.
And Ved, what
I'd
about?
say I'd say the winner would be Max. I'd say second place goes to a Ferrari, Sainz or Leclerc. Since Sainz did well last time, I think Leclerc's gonna do well this time. And P3 Hamilton.
Okay. So
Oh no, wait. That's the same as my sprint. Wait, let me change that. Let me change that. I'll switch it to
Russell.
no. I'll switch it to Max Hamilton Leclerc.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll back him.
I feel this weekend poses a lot of challenges for all the teams and all the drivers, especially Haas with their sickness. And I feel the weather is also going to be a big challenge for everybody. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Let's hope for some good racing.
Oh, wait. 1 sec. I just realized Max has a grid penalty. Okay, I'm changing my prediction.
No, but he
Um,
qualifies that. He may not finish in the race that high. If there's
no,
that
I
low.
still don't think if he has a grid penalty. He has a grid penalty for the race. I don't think he's gonna finish first if he has a 5 place grid penalty for the race.
You never know. If you have max
I
domination.
don't. This is not the dominant Red Bull car that you're thinking of anymore. So yeah. Then I'd
I mean,
say it'll be
mind
Leclerc,
you, that
Hamilton, and
the
Sainz.
third time I think he's changing it in the same episode or something.
Whoa, that's because I just realized. Okay. So Leclerc Hamilton Sainz, my bad.
Okay.
Okay, so I just remembered that Max has a grid penalty coming up for the race. So I'm going to change up my predictions one last time. Sorry. I'd say,
3 times.
yeah,
Three
three
times.
times. Third time's the charm. But that's fine. I'd say first place goes to Leclerc, second place Hamilton, third place Sainz.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think this weekend's gonna be interesting again. Uh, I feel it's gonna pose a lot of challenges in terms of weather and sickness in the case of Haas. Uh, I think it's gonna be a great weekend. Hopefully, we have some good racing, and I think let's all hope that the championship fight gets a little more exciting this weekend, especially the drivers' championship, because that's what most of us care about. So don't forget to drop your predictions in the comment section down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time for our reactions. Bye.
Bye bye.